Well, hello everyone. We are back out here in Berea as the Browns prepare to head west and face the SanDiego Chargers, who are also struggling at 1-2. The news that we've been talking about for the past couple of days, a TMZ report that 3 starters on the Browns offense have said, get Johnny in the darn game. And so we've been dealing with that. Mike Pettine actually addressed the team about this today. Josh McCown says, you know what, I'm not worried about it. I don't even know what TMZ is.
Well, I'm sure that's, he's got maybe a career in politics coming up. I'm sure he knows about it. Everyone knows about it. You know, I'm sure there's people out there it's very disconcerting when you hear that kind of stuff. I do think that there are probably people in that locker room that maybe feel that way. Now, were they that strong on it? I don't know. But the best thing is, as Pettine said, what cures all is to go out and have a good performance and win on Sunday. That maybe quiets some stuff.
Yeah, you know what? And even though I'm sure that there could be a couple of players that do feel that way, you know, I think that there is overwhelming support in that locker room for Josh McCown. I mean, I talked to all 5 of the offensive linemen yesterday. There's overwhelming support for a guy who has that kind of experience and, you know, can read a defense and, you know, slide the protections and you know, manage the motions and all those kinds of things. So I just don't get the sense that that there's this undercurrent in the locker room of we want Johnny.
No, and like I said, I think there's probably people that do feel they would like to see it. They feel that way. Whether they would go out and say that, I don't know. I don't think so. The main thing, though, is you're right. I think that for the most part, he still has the confidence of that offense. And let's face it, he brought him back fairly close the other day, made the interception at the end. But, you know, I have no problem with them going back to Josh right now, and I'm sure most of that locker room feels the same way.
You know what, he said his hand feels fine today. I'm guessing when the report comes out that he will have been somewhat limited. You know, after just talking to him, that hand is still very swollen. It was, you know, you can't, the back of the right hand, you can't see the knuckles. And I was comparing it to the left hand, and, you know, his left, you know, knuckles here are very prominent. The right hand is still gashed and very swollen. If, you know, I would have to think that it would be a little bit difficult to grip the ball that way. Now, Pettine says by the end of the week it should be resolved, but that hand has some healing to do.
Yeah, bears watching, right? A little Deflategate action, maybe, Mary Kay. Maybe we need a little softer ball for that game on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, even the finger, the ring finger that he's had that wrapped, that still looked a little bit blue to me actually today. So I think the hand is somewhat of an issue. Of course, they're downplaying it. This is their starting quarterback, and you know, they absolutely don't, you know, want it to be anything other than that right now. He is going to start this game, but I think, you know, hopefully for them by Saturday, by the time he arrives in SanDiego, the swelling will have gone down.
Yep.
You know, there's a couple other guys that did not practice today. Tayshawn Gibson, he was out with the groin. K'Wan Williams, still out with the concussion. Joe Hayden, he was in there practicing today, but they're still a little bit banged up in the secondary. Yeah,
and no question. And that group, that defense in general needs an improvement. We were talking today with Paul Kruger, just saying that, you know, they have to own that. They have to own that performance. It was not a pretty Monday. Said there was a lot of voices raised by Jim O'Neill and others as they watched the film together. You know, that was a really poor performance by them. 14 missed tackles. That's exceptionally high, and, you know, they've got to be much better in SanDiego.
You know, they do, but on the other side of the ball, they have to run the football too. Now, number 14 is the magic number. They only ran the ball about 14 times in this game. They have to be able to run it more, which of course you cannot fall behind if you want to continue to run the football. But even in the limited amount of times that they did run it, they're not gaining enough yards. So the run blocking has to be more on point, more physical at the point of attack, and then the running backs have got to hit the holes or break tackles or whatever they can do to make some yards.
And it's been really an issue, except for the game against Tennessee. They ran the ball pretty well. As the running backs, not the quarterbacks. But yeah, it's been an issue all since the beginning of training camp, and it's got to get it going. I think maybe they can maybe if Duke Johnson, the end of the game, made a really nice explosive catch, maybe that's a sign of some better things to come, because he has not looked that fast to me up until this point. Again, he's coming off a serious hamstring injury.
Yeah, you know what? It hurts so much to miss training camp. It's so underrated how tough it is to come back and be strong in the beginning of the season when you've missed most of camp. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And we'll have much more for you to come this week, including previews of the games and all kinds of news from out here in Berea. Check it all out on cleveland.com.